With the announcements of a lot more Switch 2 games and the reveal of their pricing, we have gotten a clearer picture of what Nintendo means by variable pricing. And in this video, I'm going to go over everything on why Nintendo's pricing the games they are, what makes a game $80 and what makes a game $20. So let's get into it. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, with the first Switch 2 Direct and the announcement that Mario Kart World would be $80, there was a lot of backlash. And the Washington Post asked Doug Bowser in an interview about the price tag and what that will mean for the future. Doug Bowser then says, what you see right there is variable pricing. We'll look at each game and really look at the development that has gone into that game and the depth of the gameplay, if you will, the durability over time and the repeatability of gameplay experiences. And we really didn't know what that meant because we only had 3 games to base it off of: the Switch 2 edition games, Mario Kart World, and Welcome Tour. But now we have a bunch of prices for Drag X Drive, for Pokemon Legends ZA, a Donkey Kong Bonanza, and other Switch 2 editions as well. And it paints a clear picture on what they're actually meaning. When Doug Bowser says repeatability of gameplay experiences, he's basically saying if the game is online and you could infinitely replay it. I think games that come to mind, Splatoon, Smash Bros, Animal Crossing, all those games could be played for hours on end because of the infinite almost gameplay loop. It isn't a single player experience. So when it came to Mario Kart World being $80, the reason why it's $80 is because Nintendo knows you're going to be spending over 100 hours in it. And I have a feeling Splatoon 4 and Animal Crossing will also be $80 because those are online-oriented games that have a almost infinite loop that you could keep playing for hours on end. And we got the announcement of Donkey Kong Bonanza being $70. And this is a primarily single player focused game that kind of has a clear end. Of course, you can make with the game as you wish, but this is utilizing the Switch 2's hardware to give you an experience that you could not find on the Switch 1. Thus, the price of $70. If something can't run on the Switch, but isn't a multiplayer game, it is gonna be $70. And by can't run on a Switch, I mean graphical fidelity and overall gameplay experience. So for Donkey Kong Bonanza, like, the open world where you could smash everything. But I can hear you saying right now, the Switch 2 Welcome Tour can't be played on the Switch. It technically could. You could definitely see Welcome Tour run on the Switch. Of course, if it didn't have like the HDR 120 frames and everything like that. When it comes to Welcome Tour, this is priced at $10 because it's honestly a one-time experience. You could really only experience this once. And this honestly gets solidified with Drag X Drive because we know that this game is probably going to last us for about a week. And I decided to make this video because I thought Drag X Drive was going to be $40. This game is only $20. Which is honestly a relief because that means whatever Doug Bowser is saying, that they're actually looking into how in-depth the gameplay is and the development that's gotten into it is true because they priced Drag X Drive at $20, probably because it isn't going to be as infinitely replayable and have as much gameplay depth as Mario Kart World. So what does that mean for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond? We actually don't have an announcement yet for it when it comes to price, but this is originally launching on the Switch 1. And for me, it could basically be 60 or 70. 70 because I believe that Nintendo thinks that this is an experience on the same level as Tears of the Kingdom. I do not think it is going to be 70 because Metroid cannot pull people in if it's not higher than 70. The Switch 2 edition of Metroid Prime Beyond will be 70 though. And there is some differences in what Switch 2 editions can be priced as well. We could see this with the Switch 2 edition of Breath of the Wild being only 70, being $10 more than the Switch 1 version, compared to Kirby and the Forgotten Land, who upgrade pack is $20. And this is fairly simple. If there's any actual content that isn't any sort of enhancements when it comes to frame rate or HDR, it will be $20. So for Kirby and the Forgotten Lands, it's because they added all of Star-Crossed World that they consider this a $20 one. Think of it as you're paying $10 for the performance increase and then $10 for basically DLC. And since Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild didn't get any DLC of any kind, we did get kind of like voice notes, but that isn't really a massive selling point. They only did $10 because we're just getting the graphical upgrade. What that means for Legends ZA, which we've already gotten the price of the upgrade pack being only $10, is that the Switch 2 edition will not add any extra content. This is just going to be strictly a performance Switch 2 edition, which I think I'm kind of happy. Like, honestly, I'm going to buy it anyways, but I think it's honestly fair for Switch 1 people that the Switch 2 peeps aren't getting any extra gameplay. But honestly, looking into all these prices and what Doug Bowser has said, I am not that mad. You know, I thought I'd be significantly more mad about the $80 price tag, but it kind of makes sense. If you think about it, when we spend like 200 hours in a video game, yeah, $80 doesn't seem that bad. Considering I spent almost 500 hours in Splatoon 3 and almost 500 hours in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, we are definitely getting our money's worth for $80. And I'm not trying to be a Nintendo glazer, but we just kind of have to think when it comes to hours via how much dollars what we paid for. And then again, Nintendo did break the mold when it comes to the $80 games. And it sucks that this is going to be the industry norm moving forward. But I think I have a little bit of solace knowing that there's rules behind their pricing and not just because let's just price it $80 because we can. I'm glad they actually have rules. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Is $80 too much for you? Do you think Nintendo is justified in charging that price? If you guys haven't already, be sure to subscribe. I haven't really put a goal for us, but 20,000 subs, let's go. Anyways, I am Crafty1, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.